Well, Paul Glenshaw of the Seven Tones Project, thank you for joining us.
You're most welcome. It's nice to be here. Thank you.
Okay, well, Paul, tell us, what is the Seven Tones Project?
The Seven Tones Project is an initiative started by myself and my filmmaking partner, who's out on the West Coast in Santa Barbara, California, that grew out of the very early we were of thinking about doing a Duke Ellington film project. And we were in the process of brainstorming that, and then all these shutdowns happened. And we were really thinking of, what are different ways we could do things with film and Ellington's music. And with everything shut down and film production shut down and able to perform, got it into my head, start calling my musician friends and see if they'd record Ellington tunes just at home, and then see what I could do about making a little film myself. And Derek, my partner, did the same, and we started getting some interesting results. So we decided to really open it up, because we can't offer gigs for musicians in the way they'd like it, or for filmmakers, but we can offer a creative outlet. And that's really what the Seven Tones Project has become. For people to flex those creative, use whatever it is that they have on hand. And that's the creative puzzle they have from the films that I made for the project. So we have to work with what we, and Duke Ellington was the inspiration for that. He said, every problem is an opportunity. And he said, even if you only had 7 tones, those were the tones you had to use. So that's why we called it the Seven Tones Project.
So all of the songs that you select are either Duke Ellington tunes or written by his longtime collaborator, Billy Strayhorn. Why is that?
Why is that? Well, as I said, we were thinking about doing an Ellington film, and still are. We're still planning that. And the depth and richness of Ellington's music and his collaborations with Strayhorn and the music that Strayhorn wrote, we really see this in a big way as an educational project, because Ellington's music really speaks to us now. He died in 1974, but the breadth and depth of his work pulls from everywhere in American music. He pulls from music all over the world. And there's such a, like I said, the breadth of it, there's so much, but also we're still coming to grips with what he had. So it also, so there's that. There's wonderful music to work from. And then it gives the project a cohesiveness. It gives it a theme, and then it helps introduce new audiences to Ellington and to Strayhorn, which is great.
And you're getting a big response from musicians on this, from all over, I understand?
Oh, yes. I mean, it started really just with, I started making phone calls to musician friends here in the area, and we are just so lucky where we live, it's so rich with great musicians of so many different genres, and just the talent and virtuosity here is amazing. And that it's locked down and unable to be expressed. So yes, we've had a great response from musicians, and now it's started to really spread. So musicians in New York, Boston, I even had a couple of high school boys in South Carolina send me a recording, a clarinet player from Osaka, Japan, musicians from California and Dayton, Ohio, and just all over the place. People are just getting in touch with me.
And you pair the musician with the filmmaker.
Yeah, the rules are very simple. The musician, they can play anything they want, however they want to, so long as it's an Ellington or Strayhorn tune. They've come up with all sorts of creative ways to do that. And then we put the recordings in a pool, and then the filmmakers listen to the recordings, and when something speaks to them, when something grabs their imaginations, they think, oh, I could use that. Then they make a film out of it. They select and the only rule for the filmmakers is that whatever they make has to be appropriate to be viewed by any age, and that they don't mess with the recording unless they get the musician's permission.
With the reveries of days gone by, in my solitude
And to give you a sense of just a few of the songs that have been recorded.
Oh boy, there's been some of the very famous ones like Solitude and Satin Doll and Sophisticated Lady. Billy Strayhorn's Take the A Train, which was Ellington's theme song. But we got it, this is a perfect example. The version we got of it was performed as a solo drum set piece. So no horns, no piano, no bass, just drums, and it's wonderful.
No, I actually heard that when I saw that and heard it as well. Interesting take on that tune.
Yeah, absolutely. I got yesterday an absolutely exquisite recording from a mandolin player in Virginia who played Ellington's Single Petal of a Rose. Which is just one of his most haunting melodies. But he played it on an instrument called a mandocello, which is the cello-sized version of a mandolin, and it's absolutely exquisite. This clarinet player in Osaka did the mooch for 6 clarinets, and he played all the parts. And it's really, really neat what people are coming up with. Just solo voices, a cappella singing, interesting pairings of instruments like clarinet and synthesizer, or organ and guitar. And so that's really the whole thing. What do you have? Use what you've got.
So if a musician wanted to get in contact with the Seven Tones Project, how would they do that?
Anybody who wants to participate, a filmmaker or musician, is absolutely welcome. I should say professional musicians and filmmakers, student musicians and filmmakers. We're open to really anybody who wants to participate. They can email us at seventonesproject@gmail.com.
And if someone wanted to see the films, and you have your own YouTube channel?
Yeah, just simply search for us on Facebook or on YouTube or on Instagram. Just search for Seven Tones Project. We're the only one. And you'll find us, and we look forward to your viewing the movies. It's really a way to give something, to put a little beauty into the world, even at this time. I think that's part of it. I have, what can I do to fight back against this virus? Well, we can still make beautiful things, even if we're inside and separated from one another.
So is this going to be an ongoing project even after we're able to go out again and mingle amongst each other?
That's a really good question. It's certainly tapped a vein. I think the creative community out there, it's still very uncertain what's going to be happening with how film productions will start back up again, and how musicians will be able to go perform. Thinking about big venues and small venues. How is that going to work? There's a lot of uncertainty about that. So this may be a necessity for a while, but I think it's also tapping a creative impulse in people that they're doing things they hadn't thought they would do with people they hadn't worked with before. And there's really interesting and beautiful results coming out of it. And it's kind of taking on its own momentum in that way right now. So right now that's an open question. I hope so. I hope so.
Okay, Paul Glenshaw, Seven Tones Project, thank you very much.
Thank you. It's wonderful to talk to you. Appreciate it.